On October 16, 1955, 3 young boys were molested and murdered in Chicago. 3 boys missing it tells the heartbreaking story of the brutal attack and murder. The book was written by one of the police officers assigned to the case to ensure the significance of the case and acknowledge the undeniable existence of pedophilia in our society. Here to share the story with us is the author of 3 Boys Missing, James Jack. Thank you so much for being here today.
It's my pleasure.
Now, this was a story that happened 50 years ago in Chicago, not here, but it's a really important story for people to know about. Take us back to that time when you were a young police officer on the Chicago police force and how the case first came to you.
It was October the 16th. I was just 26 years of age, and I was a detective for about 6 or 7 months at that particular time. I came into the station, and there was a gentleman about 11:15 p.m. that evening. I was working the 4 to 12 shift, but we came in a little earlier, my partner and myself, and a gentleman was standing at the desk, and it turned out to be Mr. Peterson, the father of Robert Peterson, one of the boys that was murdered.
And that was a time when you had written often, you know, kids would maybe run out with their friends and be gone for the night, and parents knew when their kids were probably going to come home, that maybe they were just not really getting into trouble, but would have a tendency to disappear for a little while. But there was something about this that seemed different to you.
Correct. It was a gut feeling, because I looked at the Mr. Peterson, and I knew that there was really something wrong, because of everything he told us about his boy within 20 minutes. In fact, my partner and myself, we went back out on the street for another 2 hours that night, just looking for him. We worked a little overtime, which it didn't bother me at all, and came up with nothing at that particular time. But then it really started to bother me, because I said to myself, you know, in threes, things don't happen. Mm-hmm. But that next morning, things started to pop.
These 3 boys had actually gone to a movie on a Sunday afternoon and were walking back. Tell us what happened to them.
Well, they went downtown to just the Walt Disney movie in the afternoon, on a Sunday afternoon, and they never returned home. They were supposed to return home before dark, and as I just stated, they never did return home. 2 days later, October the 18th, we fixed the time somewhere around 12:15 p.m. on the 18th, that their bodies, 3 naked bodies, strangled, brutally beaten, were dumped like 50-pound bags of potato in a drainage ditch in a picnic ground.
It took almost 4 decades to solve this case, but you worked on it for so many years. Did you think you were close to finding the person who had molested and killed these boys?
Not really, because we had a task force. It was called the Special Investigation Unit Task Force, specifically set up for this particular crime. We had 54 of the best detectives that on this particular case, and I was one of them, and we stayed on this case. These were seasoned detectives that had 20 years already on the job, and I only had like 1, but I stayed with it. And I felt that after years, 3, 4 years, we were getting frustrated because we weren't getting any place. But later on, through the years, I did realize, after writing my book here, that this particular case probably could have been cleared up in maybe 3 or 4 weeks, because it's clear in my book when you read 3 Boys Missing that 2 of the subjects lived with silent suffering inside of them, and they became two of the top witnesses in the case.
So eventually, 40-some years later, a man was convicted of the crimes for killing these 3 young boys,
yes,
correct?
Yes.
What eventually led to his conviction, and who was this man? Did he know the boys? Was he a neighbor or someone who had contact with them?
No, he picked these boys up while they were 4 blocks away from their home on that Sunday afternoon, or it would be, I'm sorry, Sunday evening at 9 o'clock. They were 4 blocks away from their home, and they were hitchhiking home. And the boys,
at a time when hitchhiking didn't seem as unsafe.
Everybody,
right?
everybody hitchhiked in those days, you know. And they trusted him. They got in the car, and he took them to the Idle Hour riding stables, and this is where he strangled all 3 of the boys.
I think what's important about this is that maybe not as many kids are hitchhiking today, but from what I read, the neighborhood where this happened, it wasn't a bad neighborhood. Though it doesn't matter if you're in a good neighborhood or a bad neighborhood, it can happen anywhere. You write about 4 things that parents need to know about sex offenders. What should parents be aware of?
Well, number one, what you just mentioned here, number one, stop believing that it really can't happen to your child. People pick up newspapers today and read these sensational child molestation murder cases, and they say, oh, this is so sad, you know, it really can't happen to my children. Wrong, because it can happen to any child.
Mm-hmm. And then you also, there are a couple other points that you like to make.
Believe in your child. Mm-hmm. Believe in your child when your child tells you that some incident happened to them today. Take it serious, report it to the law enforcement or child welfare department. They're trained to handle these types of cases. Don't try and do it yourself.
Do you think that we're getting better? Of course, the internet has opened up. It's a whole new game out there. And I know some say it's just like a feeding frenzy for pedophiles. But do you feel like we're doing a better job of educating and protecting children?
If we keep teaching our children, you know, the tips. I had also written a pamphlet that I give out with my books when I'm on a book tour right now. Mm-hmm. And I give this book pamphlet out. It gives you all the tips that you want to know. And one thing I want to say is that in any city, right now as we're sitting here, in any city in the United States within a square mile and a half, there's somebody standing on a corner waiting to have sex with your child. Mm-hmm. And you can take that to the bank.
Well, I think people should come and visit you. You're going to be at you're going to have a book signing.
Yes,
Barnes
I am.
and Noble. It's Eaton on Chagrin. It's today from 2 to 4. The book is called 3 Boys Missing. The author, James Jack, a former World War II veteran, so we're happy to have you here, and worked with the Chicago Police Department as a detective for many, many years on this specific case. So this pamphlet is not just any pamphlet. It's certainly something that if you're a parent and you're in the neighborhood, you should stop by and pick up. Thank you so much for being here.
I appreciate it, and thank you, and Cleveland's a wonderful spot.
We think so, too.
My first time here.
Oh, well, we're glad you're here. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, well, stay with us.